Homecoming Week 2021 has come to an end, but not before the campus had the chance to enjoy some of Texas Tech's biggest traditions. Coming up, MCTV's Patricia Perry has a special look at the last night of events during this year's celebration.
Current Red Raiders may have enjoyed some fun and free events here at Texas Tech this week, but they weren't the only ones who were in town to experience all the university has to offer. Find out how a follow-up event gave future Red Raiders a preview of what's to come when they head to campus.
And after a week away, Tech's football, soccer, and volleyball teams were all back on their home turf for a weekend of Big 12 action. MCTV's Malone Graham has all the details from a busy week for Tech athletics in the Hub City in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Parker Gainey.
And I'm Craig Douglas.
All last week, the Texas Tech community enjoyed a packed schedule of events for Homecoming 2021.
After more than a dozen fun and free options, the annual celebration finished out with some of the longest running traditions on Tech campus. MCTV's Patricia Perry headed out on campus to capture the sights and sounds from Friday's festivities.
Last week was homecoming for Texas Tech University. The Student Activities Board hosted many events throughout the week in an effort to get students excited about the big game on Saturday. On Friday night, Texas Tech hosted a parade, pep rally, and bonfire for these students to come out and show their school spirit. Many students came out and showed why they were proud to be a Red Raider.
It brings the spirit up for all students around campus, to get excited for homecoming and the game tomorrow as we're going against TCU. We're going to need everyone to be loud and everyone to be there cheering us on.
Students chose Texas Tech University for a reason. Many say it is because of the atmosphere and community this university has. Freshman Kennedy McGrath shares why she has school spirit.
The community here is really great, and I've made a lot of really good friends here, so I love it here.
Homecoming is important to have at a university for many reasons. Alumni have the opportunity to return to campus and reminisce on their days here, but it is also a way for students to show school spirit. Texas Tech's President Lawrence Skuvanek shares why homecoming is important for so many reasons.
Well, I think obviously it's important for the alumni who come back, but homecoming is also for our students here. This is their home, and it's a chance for them to show their spirit, their pride, and in some way to show how they're making their mark on this university.
Many students said they chose Texas Tech because of the school spirit, and that was definitely the case last week. At these events, you could see how excited everyone was to be here. For MCTV, I'm Patricia Perry.
Friday's parade, pep rally, and bonfire were the last three major events on the schedule before the annual homecoming football game. But earlier in the day, another yearly tradition set the stage for Saturday's halftime festivities. Starting at noon on Friday, the Student Activities Board hosted the Rowdy Raider Rally in the Red Raider Plaza. During the event, Tech Spirit Squads and Raider Red were on hand to get students excited about Saturday's matchup with TCU. The end of the week event also included the announcement of the top 5 candidates for this year's homecoming court.
I was coming back from COVID, a lot of people didn't have the opportunity to have school spirit during that, so it's really important to come back and unite everybody and come together as Red Raiders and be one again.
2 members of this year's homecoming court that were announced during Friday's rally were later named Red Raider royalty on Saturday. Donovan Satchel of Wiley was crowned homecoming king, while Channing Wicks of Lubbock was announced as this year's homecoming queen. Wicks is a graphic design major and member of Chi Omega, and Satchel is a global studies and general studies major. Satchel is also the first African American to ever be crowned homecoming king at Texas Tech. Satchel and Wicks were named as this year's winners after students voted on the remaining candidates announced during the Rowdy Raider Rally.
Along with last week's traditional events, Homecoming Week also included one new option for students to pick up a special keepsake while getting into the homecoming spirit. On Wednesday, the Airbrush T-shirts event took place just outside of the sub in the Free Speech Gazebo. Students had the chance to pick out a design, personalize it with a word or message, and then watch the artists create their own unique T-shirt. Airbrush T-shirts was another fun and free event hosted by the Student Activities Board. It was also one of the most popular options in last week's schedule.
We came out here because we needed some more merch for Texas Tech, the spirit at the game, and it's homecoming weekend.
We're so excited because we always miss out on the shirts and like things to wear, so we just thought, sure, we'll wait in line for 2 hours.
Airbrush t-shirts, along with last Monday's Spin Art Fun, were two artistic options SAB offered for students last week. If you missed both of these events, SAB already has another fun and free option for students this week. Stuff a Critter will be taking place this Thursday starting at 11 a.m. in the Sub Courtyard, next to Allen Theater. During this event, students pick out a plush toy animal, stuff them, sew them up, and dress them up in Texas Tech themed shirt. Stuff a Critter is one of the SAB's most popular events, and it only goes as long as supplies last. For more info on this week's activity, along with a list of future events, visit sab.ttu.edu.
Each year, Homecoming Week includes a variety of traditions that help stir up school pride, but there's also one much more somber annual event that takes the time to honor Red Raiders who no longer wear the scarlet and black. The Texan Memorial took place last Thursday in Memorial Circle to remember members of the Tech community who lost their lives over the last year. The names of any student, faculty, staff, or alumni member who died were read aloud and honored during the ceremony. Along with reading the names, a balloon was released to mark each Red Raider life lost, and members of Tech's choir program sang hymns to commemorate the occasion.
Tech is, like one big family, and I think it's great that we honor these students like this just to show that even in passing, they're still part of Texas Tech.
Although the Texan Memorial is an annual tradition, this year's event marked the first time the ceremony had been held in person since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Homecoming week may have officially ended on Saturday, but the annual homecoming football game often brings future Red Raiders to the Hub City in anticipation in starting school next year. With that in mind, the Office of Undergraduate Admissions hosts a follow-up event to get incoming students excited about all the university has to offer. Texas Tech Preview 2021 took place earlier today throughout campus. The annual recruitment event kicked off at 8 a.m. this morning at the United Supermarkets Arena with a spirit rally and welcome. During the rally, attendees were led cheers and a singing of the school song and fight song. Members of Tech's spirit squads, Saddle Tramps, High Riders, the Goin' Band from Raiderland, and even Raider Red were all on hand to get future students and their families fired up for the day ahead. Following the morning's kickoff, a resource fair was held on the concourse of the USA, and tour buses were available to take attendees around campus. Future Red Raiders also had the chance to tour the rec center, enjoy lunch at one of the campus' many eateries, and then learn more about their chosen field of study. The annual Texas Tech Preview is one of the university's largest recruitment events, and today's group marks the largest number of incoming students to ever attend the event. Over the weekend, the South Plains area experienced a big change in weather conditions as a cold front moved through the area. Temperatures topped off in the high 90s on Saturday afternoon, leading to a mild evening. But then yesterday, a front moved through, causing 40 to 50 mile-per-hour wind gusts that led to temperatures topping out in the upper 80s before dropping into the 50s last night. And then this morning, lows were in the 40s as students headed to 8 a.m. classes.
With the big drop in temperatures, it's feeling a lot more like fall today here on campus. But will the 90-degree highs finally be a thing of the past? As we head into the second week of October, let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. There's a lot less dust in the sky today on the MCTV tower cam, as winds have slowed down drastically from yesterday. Wind speeds have hovered between 10 and 20 miles per hour this afternoon, and it looks like that should be as high as they get today. But the results of yesterday's cold front are still obvious, as highs have only reached the upper 70s this afternoon. Overnight, we'll see a drop back into the 50s, but that will feel warm in comparison to this morning's low of 43 degrees here at Texas Tech. Unfortunately, the gusty winds won't stay gone for long, with speeds expected to reach up to 40 miles per hour on Tuesday afternoon. Highs will be a bit warmer tomorrow, but the wind chill will make it feel much cooler. The gusty winds will bring in another drop in temperatures, with lows back around 50 degrees on Tuesday night. Wednesday will be a breezy day with highs back in the 70s. Thursday will bring a slight warm up with the highs back in the 80s and lots of sunshine. But Thursday night, temperatures will drop once again, and that will lead to a much cooler end to the week looking ahead. A drop back into the 60s on Friday could lead to our first 30-degree lows of the fall season and a much cooler weekend.
It was a big weekend for Tech athletics here on campus as 3 Tech teams all took on conference competition at home.
But even though the teams had home field advantage, the results were mixed after 3 days of play. MCTV's Malone Graham has highlights and scores from all of this weekend's on-campus action in sports. Malone?
Thanks, Parker and Craig. Homecoming weekend at Texas Tech meant a lot of alumni, students, and members of the Lubbock community were involved in many festivities, and of course, the football game. Texas Tech quarterback Henry Colombi, who was under intense pressure most of the night, completed 23 of 41 passes for 344 yards for Texas Tech, which piled up 558 total yards. Running back SaRodrick Thompson ran for 118 yards and 3 touchdowns. Despite the efforts of Colombi and Thompson, the Red Raiders could not pull out the win. Texas Tech is now 4-2 overall and 1-2 in conference play after losing to TCU 52-31. Tech has not beaten TCU at home since 2013. The team travels to Kansas on Saturday to take on the Jayhawks in Lawrence. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. The Texas Tech soccer team battled to a 1-1 tie versus Oklahoma State Thursday night at the John Walker Soccer Complex. Tech trailed early in the first half as OSU jumped on the board in the 8th minute, thanks to a strike from Gabriella Coleman. The Tech offense started to find its rhythm, maintaining most of the possession with several key passes in the final attacking third. Their persistency paid off as Kirsten Davis leveled the match with the top end strike into the upper right 90 in the 36th minute, marking her 12th goal of the season. The Red Raiders are 9-3-2 on the year and hit the road to take on Iowa State Thursday at 6. Texas Tech volleyball split their weekend at the USA with Iowa State. The Cyclones got the best of the Red Raiders Thursday, taking the match 3-2. Tech flipped the script on Friday, walking away with a victory in 4 sets. Their service game was strong, with 8 aces in the match. After earning their first conference win of the season, head coach Tony Greystone and his squad boast a 12-7 record. Up next is a weekend trip to Oklahoma to take on the Sooners for a 2-game set. First serve is on Thursday at 6. Lots going on for Texas Tech athletics in the middle of the fall semester. That's all for sports. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Malone. The Tech campus may have been host to several traditional sports this past weekend, but last week, a less traditional athletic activity brought out local extreme sports enthusiasts. On Saturday, October 2nd, Lubbock Skateboarding hosted a skate bash at the Frankfort Skate Park. The event featured dozens of competitors who showcased their skills on the board. The event was broken up into 2 different levels, allowing both newer and experienced skaters the chance to attempt various moves and tricks using different features of the skate park.
So this is kind of a standardized skateboarding contest. We do 2 divisions. We do kind of a beginner and an advanced division. And so we get competitors of all skill levels to come out, and we have it formatted in a way to where it's fair for everybody and it's fun for everybody to come out. So even if you're just getting started, you don't have to be that good. You can still come compete and see how much fun competition can actually be.
Skate Bash was the first in-person event hosted by Lubbock Skateboarding in almost 2 years. Along with the competition, the event also featured food trucks, live music, and an open skate for anyone with a board. For more information on future skateboarding events here in the Hub City, follow Lubbock Skateboarding on Facebook.
So Craig, did you have a chance to make it out to any of the events?
Before I came into the studio, I wasn't aware that there were any other events besides the game. I did go to the game, as unfortunate as that is, but I'll definitely try to make it out there next year.
All right, well that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.